Guys and girls, this is Wager Detective here, July 11th, 2026, live from New Jersey, and we're going to get into this cap right here between the Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. Before we get into that, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, leave comments on all those platforms. Just know Wager Detective appreciates all and every bit of support that I get from my fans out there, and that I love all my fans out there. Let's get into this cap. We're looking at the Athletics. Athletics are 6-4 last 10 versus the White Sox. 7 over, 3 under in those games. The Athletics scoring 4.9 runs a game to 5.7 for their opponents. Comes out to 10.6 runs per game average. In their last 10 versus the White Sox, the Athletics scored 5+4 times, and the White Sox have scored 5+6 times. If we look at what the Athletics have done the last 11 at the White Sox, they are 6-5. They're +8 run differential. They're scoring 5 runs a game to 4.27 for the White Sox. Comes out to 9.27 runs per game average. Keep in mind the Athletics are +102 in this game. Over/under set at 8.5, -118 to the over, -104 to the under, and the White Sox are coming back at -120. Now, if we look at what the Athletics have done in road day games this year, they're 8-7, -1 run differential. They're scoring 3.86 runs a game to 3.93, comes out to 7.79 runs per game average. We look at the White Sox, what they've done in their last 9 games. It is absolutely putrid. This team has lost 7 in a row. They're 1-8 in their last 9. But they're -38 run differential there in the 1-8 last 9, -38. 5 over and 4 under in those games. In their last 9, the Athletics are scoring 3.33 runs a game to 7.55 runs a game for their opponent. That comes out to a -4.22 runs per game average, and the average score is coming out to 10.88 runs per game. They have scored 1 run only, 1 run or less. They've scored exactly 1 run in their last 3 games. So Athletics 1-8 in their last 9, not looking good heading into the break. Now, if we look at what they've done against the American League Central, they are 4-9. They were swept at the Tigers this year. 7 over, 6 under in that 4-9 record versus Central. They're scoring 3.69 runs a game to 6.46 for their Central League counterparts, and that's -36 run differential, which is -2.77 runs per game between their wins and losses in that 4-9 record. Against the Central, the average score in those games is coming out to 10.15 runs per game average. Now, this is going to be the middle game of the series, situational split. In the middle game of a road series on the road, the Athletics are 7-8, -2 run differential, 6 over and 9 under in those games. They're scoring 4.53 runs a game to 4.66 in the middle game of a road series this year. Comes out to 9.19 runs per game average. Now, on the mound for the Athletics is going to be Gage Jump. And Gage Jump, young guy. He has a 4-seam fastball that he primarily throws 48% of the time, a 93 to 96 that takes shape. 4-seam fastball he throws 48% of the time, and then his secondary pitch is a slider, 86 mile per hour slider that he throws about 25% of the time, primarily to left-handed batters, which we'll see a number of them. Rakami's back, as you can see on the screen there, Montgomery, and they got a couple Montgomerys. One Montgomery is switch hitter, Romo switch hitter, so it'll be interesting here. Now, in Gage Jump's last 5 starts, game start, the Athletics are 2-3 in his last 5 starts. The run differential is even. When Gage Jump starts in his last 5 starts, the Athletics are scoring 4.8 runs a game, and their opponents are scoring 4.8. Comes out to 9.6 runs per game average. Last 5 starts for Gage Jump, he does have 4.76 ERA, a 1.46 WHIP, and he is giving up 1.46 home runs per 9 in his last 24 2/3 in 5 starts. Now, on the road this year, the Athletics are 2-1 when Gage Jump starts. All 3 of those games where Gage Jump has started on the road has been unders. In his 3 road starts, the A's are scoring 2.66 runs a game, and their opponents are scoring 1 run per game average. Comes out to 3.66 runs per game average in those 18 innings pitched. On the road this year, he does have a 0.49 ERA and a 0.76 WHIP, and he's given up 0 home runs in that 18 1/3. So a bright spot there for the Athletics. Now, he is going to be on 5 days rest this year, and this year when he's on 5 days rest, he is the record for the A's is 1-2, 2 over, 1 under. Even though they're 1-2 when Gage Jump starts on 5 day rest, the A's are still +3 run differential. They're scoring 4.66 runs a game, 3.66 for their opponents. comes out to 8.33 runs per game average. In his starts on 5 days rest, Gage Jump, 15 innings pitched, has given up 12 hits, 5 earned runs, 7 bases on ball, and 2 home runs for a 3 ERA, a 1.27 whip, and 1.2 home runs per 9. And the 5 earned runs on 5 days rest came exactly in his last outing versus Miami, where he gave up 5 earned runs. Those other games, he gave up no earned runs in 2 of those games. But last time out on 5 days rest, he did get touched up by Miami. 3 innings pitched, gave up 5 earned runs. So I would expect him to bounce back here. He seems like a solid prospect for them. I like what as far as part of the cap, the only thing that stands out to me that's terrifying to take the Athletics so far is they're 1-8 in their last 9, and not really good against the Central where they're 4-9. But I do believe in ebbs and flows. If you look at the middle game of the series, they are 7-8. Middle game of a road series, they are 7-8, -2 run differential. I got to think this team is hungry, and I like what they're doing. They're 6-4 last 10 versus the White Sox, but they're still -8 run differential. They're 6-5 last 11 at the White Sox, where they're +8 run differential, scoring 5 runs a game to 4.27. So there's some ups and downs there in that, and being a left-handed pitcher, I got to believe that there's some advantage there with Markami coming back, trying to find his timing. Montgomery hitting cleanup. This guy does not give up home runs. Primarily, I mean, he has given up 4 home runs though in his last 5 outings in 24 2/3. But on the road, he does seem to be a little bit more comfortable. In 18 1/3 innings pitched, Jump does have a 0.49 ERA and a 0.76 WHIP, and he is coming off a loss. His last time out on 5 days rest. By the way, when he pitched, his last time he pitched exactly 85 pitches, which was his last time out against Miami in his last outing. He had 85 pitches, so he's coming in this 85 pitches. I went through his history. Last time he had exactly 85 pitches. The very next game, he did win. The A's did win a 5-0 game. I forget who the game was against, but he did win that game. Oh, it was at Houston. He won 5-0 at Houston the game after he had 85 pitches. So that's the situation he's going to be in here. Now let's get into the White Sox part of this cap. White Sox 4-6 last 10, 9-11 last 20. They're 29-17 at home, 18-13 in one-run games. And it's going to be interesting to see. They are 14-15 against left-handed pitching, which they'll see here in Gage Jump. Now, in home day games this year, they are 12-9, +7 run differential, 6 over, 15 under. That's a good stat to keep in mind. So in home day games, 12-9, 6 over, 15 under, and they're scoring 3.57 runs a game to 3.24 runs per game. Comes out to 6.81. If we take the Athletics road day games and the White Sox home day games, combine them, it comes out to 7.29 runs per game average. Now, in the last 9, the White Sox haven't been that great either. They're not as bad as the Athletics, but they're only 3-6 in their last 9, -4 run differential, 4 over, 5 under in those games. Last 9 games, the White Sox are scoring 3.88 runs a game, and they're giving up 4.33. If we look at both these teams' last 9, combine their average score between that, comes out to 9.54 runs per game average. Now, against the American League West, the White Sox are 10-6, 8 over, 8 under, +23 run differential, which is in stark contrast to the Athletics versus Central, where they're 4-9, -36 run differential. The White Sox 10-6 against the American League West, +23 differential. They're scoring 4.75 runs a game to 3.31 runs per game average. Now, in the middle game of a home series for the White Sox, they are 9-6, +3 run differential, 5 over and 10 under in those 15 middle games of a home series. They're scoring 3.73 runs a game to 3.53 for their opponents. Comes out to 7.26 runs per game average. Now, on that side of the cap, you look at it, you look at the line, it says -120 for the White Sox, +102 for the Athletics. It's telling me that they do believe that Gage Jump could really rebound here after that bad outing, really his only bad outing of the year, which was against Miami in his last outing. And Miami, for what it's worth, is just a dynamite team. I think people are overlooking them and what they can do and what they're about, but they have absolute talent. Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards, Liam Hicks. They got a bunch of guys, Marcy. They got a bunch of guys in that lineup. Don't be surprised if the Marlins make the playoffs. Don't be surprised if a team like the Nationals make the playoffs. Those teams are dynamite, and they're just playing great baseball heading into the break. So, not a bad thing get hit up by that team. I think the White Sox, if you were to ask me to compare the White Sox to the Marlins, I'm taking the Marlins up and down all day long with their pitching and their lineup. I just like them a little bit more, but the White Sox are a surprise this year for this team, and they got Murakami back. So I think the things that stand out for the White Sox, they're just playing solid baseball. Middle game of a home series versus the West. They're only 3-6 in their last 9. It gives me pause because I do believe that Jump is going to have a good start here based on the line and how they have it lined up, and the fact that the Athletics have lost 7 in a row, 8 in a row, 7 in a row. There's urgency there for them with these last 2 games before they head into the break to just kind of turn it around. And if you look at the Athletics, 41-53. I mean, they can go into the break 10 games below 500. I don't know if they want to go in the opposite direction here. So there's going to be a sense of focus. And if you look at the White Sox, they've been playing great, 48-45, well above what anybody expected them to do this year. So on the mound, you can see on the screen it says Eric Fetty's going to be the starter, but Braden Hudson is going to be the primary here. Is going to be the starter here. And Braden Hudson is the White Sox are 3-2 when he starts this year. But in his 5 starts, he's only had 6 innings pitched, given up 3 hits, an earned run, a home run, and he is 20-21 in team appearances. So if you look at that, overall in the year he does have 40 innings pitched, primarily relief, 40 innings pitched, 2.25 ERA and a 1.30 WHIP. And Braden Hudson, not a bad pitcher, but Eric Fetty is going to be the primary here. And Eric Fetty, when he starts this year and he comes in relief, like second inning on, third inning on, whenever. This year the White Sox are 5-4, but they are -4 run differential when Fetty plays that role of coming in after a starter for an inning or two. They're 5-4 in that spot. He does have 40 2/3 innings pitched, 48 hits, 19 earned runs, and 5 home runs with 17 walks in that role for a 4.21 ERA, a 1.60 WHIP, and a 1.11 home runs per 9. Fetty's primary pitches is his sweeper, 82-mile-per-hour sweeper. He throws 37% of the time. Then he's got a 94-mile-per-hour sinker that he throws 28% of the time. And then he's got a 91-mile-per-hour cutter that he throws 19% of the time. Guys, if I'm looking at this game, I mean, it's really hard to take a team that has lost 7 in a row and believe that they're gonna shine here. All metrics are kind of really pushing towards the White Sox. But if you look at the date in the day game splits when they play, White Sox are 12-9, Athletics are 8-7. It's really hard for me to say that it's just a really tough game to call. I mean, if you look at everything we just said, I would probably lean towards the under here. I think that to me is pretty much the safer call here. I just believe after they got beat as bad as they did yesterday by the White Sox, I think 8.5 at -104 would be my stronger play. Both these teams heading into the All-Star break, so you got to think there's a lot of things on these teams' minds. I think the White Sox just want to get a win. I don't think they're really concerned with doing what they did yesterday. The Athletics are just trying to get off the schneid. There's more pressure on them, so I think when you have a lot of pressure on you, it becomes hard to do a lot of things at the plate that you want. And the fact that the White Sox are going to give them a couple different looks here with Hudson and then going to Fetty, I think will just throw off the timing and the rhythm enough where I think we get an under here. So Wager Detective is going to call the under 8.5 here as his primary play. And if I had to lean aside here, I do believe that the Athletics could get off the schneid here. So that's going to be my secondary play. So Wager Detective calling under 8.5 at -104 and the Athletics +102 as his play here. Today is July 11th, 2026. Be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. And always remember, I appreciate and love all my support out there. Keep supporting me. I won't let you down with this Wager Detective report. Send you to the window with some kind of information, and that was my information on this game, Athletics versus White Sox, July 11th, 2026, and Wager Detective calling the Athletics to somehow get the win here at +102, and then under 8.5 at -104. This is Wager Detective. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.